Good morning, old school Texas Tech. Hope everyone's doing well wherever you are in the world. I am in South America this morning and had a little bit of a different teaching schedule, so had some time to shoot this video. Um, so probably some of you know what I do on game day is I usually listen to the homers on the radio. I listen to Jensen and Harris and Chris Level on the radio, and then I go back usually on Sundays and I watch the game actually on TV. And then I do like the post game press conference, and then the weekly press conference on Mondays. But this week I was so mad about the game on Saturday that I just didn't do any of that like normal. So I did all of that this morning because I didn't have any classes, just kind of a different schedule this week, kind of randomly. But anyway, I went through and did all that this morning, and I'm glad I did it because I have a little bit different perspective on the game. I was really upset Saturday night, and I still am upset. I think that was pretty much a must-win game, not mathematically, but I think it was a must-win game for bowl eligibility. More on that in a second, but anyway, I'm glad I did it. And I have some takeaways, my normal five takeaways, and I have some additional stuff I'll kind of throw in as well. But before I start all that, if you guys would do me a favor and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like it. And if you have any comments, even if they're negative, that's fine. Whatever, go ahead, post it. I look forward to to reading them. It seems like after just about every game this year, I've had like two or three people on the mainly on the social media group, come out like an F bomb me because I've been critical of the team, and I just kind of laugh at it. Some of them have gotten fairly personal, which is fine. I actually don't, despite what they think, I don't care. But I laugh because I live in South America and I lived in Atlanta last year, and I'm a New York Mets fan. And it makes me laugh because if people get that sensitive over being critical of the team of Texas Tech football, they would not do very well with Atlanta baseball, New York baseball, or any South American soccer, because all of that kind of criticism is expected. What is not expected is obviously there's obviously a line, talking, saying, like celebrating injuries of players and things like that. Even though that does happen down here in South America, it's totally out of line. But just being critical of a team when they lose a game is pretty normal in Atlanta with the Braves fans, with New York baseball fans, either of the New York teams, and all of South American soccer. So I get kind of a kick out of it. But anyway, that's that. My five big takeaways from the game on Saturday, now that I've had a chance to listen to it on the radio, follow the statistics, watch the game on TV, watch all the press conferences and everything. Um, and I mentioned this before. My first takeaway is that the last three coaches that we have had at Texas Tech, I did not care for Tommy Tuberville. Um, just didn't care for him at all from the start. And I still like Cliff Kingsbury a lot, and I like Matt Wells. I think he's a good man. But none of those three coaches took losses really personally. One of the things I noticed, the first thing I did this morning is I watched the post game press conference right after the loss to BYU. And Joey McGuire takes these losses extremely personal, and I like that because that we have a fan base that takes losses personally, and we all have a right to take that loss up there in Utah personally. And I'm glad that we have a coach that feels the same way about it that we do. So I really, really like that about him. I've been very critical of this season, and I think it's justified, but I've not really been critical of him. Obviously, he's made some mistakes, or we wouldn't be here. But I still think we have the right guy for the job. I do not, for the record, I do not think we will end up bowl eligible. I do not think we'll win three of the next four. But if we do, his legend is just going to increase in West Texas. It would be absolutely huge if he could somehow pull that off. I don't think he will, but who knows? Baron Morton's looks like he's back, so it would be absolutely huge. And I think that we have the right head coach. I don't know so much about the assistants. We'll talk more about that in a second. I actually have a poll on the Facebook group on Zach Kitley, whether or not you think he should come back next year, or whether or not we should wait and see how the season finishes out. Number two, my second takeaway, at no point, at least that I can remember, I do drink a little bit during the games, but at no point have I blamed the freshman quarterback for this what's happened in the last couple of games. I think I blamed the coaches for not putting him in position to be successful at times. But I do not think this is his fault. I actually think this is a really good experience for him. I wish that the circumstances were different. We were already bowl eligible or something like that. But I don't think that this is his fault. You know, he played high school football this last year. He's going up at BYU, which we know has an older team. He played against a very good K-State team. I think K-State's maybe might even make it to the Big 12 title game. I don't blame him for any of this. I do not think it's his fault. I think he's got a learning curve and he's working through it, and we should all stand by him completely. My third takeaway, and I didn't pick this up so much on the radio, so I'm glad I saw the game today. BYU played really well. I thought not really well, let's say pretty well on offense in the first half, especially the first half. I think I think we have to give them credit. They really played good offense in the first half, better than what I picked up on the radio. They looked really good. DeRuiter made some good adjustments in the second half. Of course, they were trying to burn clock, so some of that was them trying to burn clock, and I can't, I'm not pretending that DeRuiter is, any sort of magician or anything like that. But I do think he made some good halftime adjustments, and the defense gave us chances to get back into the game. So that's my third takeaway. Number four, I picked it up while listening to the game, but I really picked it up watching the game on TV earlier. Um, when we came back in the third quarter and got the ball back, and we did not score on that first drive, to me, that was the real turning point. I think that had we scored on that drive, there's a good chance that we could have gotten some momentum and won the game. It was absolutely huge that we did not do that. And I want to point something out. If you look at most of these games, um, DeRuiter, not all of them, but most of them, DeRuiter has made really good adjustments at halftime. And in general, the defense, except for the K-State game, the defense has played pretty good in the second half. While Kitley has not really made the same adjustments in most of the games, and the offense has not been significantly better in the second half. And I think that that's a key difference and something that we should keep in mind. And I'm sure it's something that Coach McGuire's probably noticed as well. Um, the last of my five takeaways, and then I have a couple more things I want to talk about. The last one is the team didn't quit. Really saw it on TV more than the radio. The team was playing hard all the way to the very end, so I was really impressed with that. We had teams under Wells, especially, and under Kingsbury, and I believe in that 2000 the 2011 season under Tuberville was interesting because we were bowl eligible to the last game. We had a chance to be bowl eligible all the way up to the last game. If I remember correctly, we had a shot, I think, even at the last game against Baylor to be bowl eligible. So I guess you can't honestly say that the team quit under Tuberville, but under Wells and Kingsbury, definitely the teams quit at times. They did not quit at all against BYU, in my opinion, from what I saw on TV. So I was really impressed with that. A couple other things that I want to mention. The whole spitting incident. I'm on McGuire's side. I trust, I don't, he doesn't strike me in any way as a coach who's just going to give the benefit of the doubt to the player without doing his due diligence. I liked what he had to say. I don't think that the player, either of those players that were accused, I guess there were two players who were accused of spitting. I know the big tight end was one of them. So I don't think that that signals any sort of lack of discipline. I do think the penalties do. I think the penalties that we've had in these games have been too much. And ultimately, what is the old Harry Truman? The buck stops here. So that goes back to McGuire. So if I'm gonna give McGuire any criticism, it would probably be penalties, and also the coordinators deserve criticism for that as well. And the last thing I'll say is that I really think this is the point in time where it's important that and there's a key distinction here that the fans, this is the time for the fans to stick with the team. That doesn't mean we can't be critical. Okay. So, I've always said if Tech lost every game in a season, I would still follow them. I would still listen to them on the radio. I would still watch them on TV when it was possible. If Tech lost every game for 5 years, I would probably still be listening to them and watching them on TV. So this is a key moment for the fans to step up. I really hope that the stadium's full for the TCU game. We're not out of it, mathematically. We've got Baron Morton back. It's not impossible. Crazier things have happened. We could win three of the next four. I mean, we have a little bit of room for error. I still think the game in Austin is going to be really tough, and the game in Lawrence is going to be really tough. But we've won tough games before with this coaching staff, and we could do it again. So I'm looking forward to next Thursday. It really caused me to have to reshuffle my schedule, but I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm looking forward to that game. And if Tech plays terrible and I feel like the coaches made mistakes, I'm going to point them out. I have a right to do that, and so do all of you. So, but now's the time for the fans to step up and to really support the team. This is when you find out who the real fans are. We're 3-5. Things look really uphill. And even if we get beat by TCU, I mean, I'm still going to watch the rest of the games all the way through. I might be working a little bit on that Friday after Thanksgiving with Austin again in Austin, but I'll be listening to the game on the radio. So anyway, we have a kind of a strange bye week because we have the Thursday game. I should have Jordan back with me. He's doing real estate stuff today. I think we'll probably do the prediction on Tuesday morning. Need to talk to him, but we'll definitely be sticking with the team all the way throughout the season. We're about to start doing some basketball stuff as well, both men's and women's. We're definitely going to be focusing heavily on women's basketball. I think the women's basketball team is going to be very good this year. And then I'm excited to see, just the beginning of the Grant McCaslin era, and looking forward to learning more about the team. Anyway, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy your bye week, and let's not give up on the team completely. We can be critical and skeptical. I personally think they're probably going to come a game or two short from being bowl eligible, but you never know. And I'll be a really happy guy if we get to 6 and make a bowl game. I think it would be huge. Anyway, everyone have a great weekend.